up, eYouth? Welcome to Beanie Talks, episode 31. Can you believe it? Episode 31. Want to thank you for watching this week. This week, we get to start a brand new series we are calling Family Matters. And I want to begin by asking you a simple question. What do you think of when you hear the word family? I'll tell you what I think about. I think about one of my favorite shows of all time. Can you guess it? Talk about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, it is one of the best shows of all time, and it would easily compete for one of the best songs of all time. Super catchy. This is a show that I grew up just watching and loving, and of course, if you know about the show, it is a funny show. And so I would watch it because it was like my guarantee to laugh that week, right? And there were so many funny moments on this show, but I'll never forget this scene right here with my boy Carlton.
What's wrong, Will? Rough weekend?
Carlton, man, listen, my date with Lisa didn't quite turn out the way I planned.
Pray tell, why not?
Carlton, we got up there, the girl went crazy, man. She tied me to this chair and she was trying to torture me.
No.
But I got loose, man. Then she really went off. So I grabbed this rock, man. Oh my God, she's still up there.
Oh my God,
Gotcha.
But this show wasn't only funny. This show had some depth. I mean, they were dealing with some real family issues on this show. And so I remember many times having my heartstrings tugged at some of the realities that Will, who plays the Fresh Prince, had to face as a young man growing up, such as this one.
Daddy-o! What's up?
Will, I'm glad you're here. Some business came up I gotta handle. So we're gonna have to put our trip on hold. You understand?
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Just for a couple of weeks.
I understand.
Yeah, maybe a little longer.
Yeah, whatever.
Look, I'll call you next week and we'll iron out the details, okay?
Yeah.
It was great seeing you, son.
You too, Lou.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Will.
You know what? Actually, this works out better for me. You know, the Slimmies of summer come to class wearing next to nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Will, it's all right to be angry.
Hey, why should I be mad? I'm saying at least he said goodbye this time. I just wish I hadn't wasted my money buying this stupid present.
I'm sorry. If there was something that I could
Hey, you know what? You ain't got to do nothing, Uncle Phil. Hey, ain't like I'm still 5 years old, you know? Ain't like I'm gonna be sitting up every night asking my mom, when's Daddy coming home, you know? Who needs him? Hey, he wasn't there to teach me how to shoot my first basket, but I learned, didn't I? Hey, I got pretty damn good at it too, didn't I, Uncle Phil?
You did.
Got through my first date without him, right? I learned how to drive, I learned how to shave, I learned how to fight without him. I had 14 great birthdays without him. He never even sent me a damn card. The hell with him! I ain't need him then, and I don't need him now.
Will.
Nah, you know what, Uncle Phil? I'm gonna get through college without him. I'm gonna get a great job without him. I'm gonna marry me a beautiful honey, and I'm having me a whole bunch of kids. I'm gonna be a better father than he ever was. And I sure as hell don't need him for that, because ain't a damn thing he could ever teach me about how to love my kids. How come he don't want me, man?
Talk about a real moment. And I recognize that I was not watching The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air simply because it made me laugh. I watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air because it made me think. It made me think about life. It made me think about relationships, and it especially made me think about family. How many of you find yourself thinking about your family based on some of the movies and TV shows you watch? If you're anything like me, you probably see that in some of our favorite shows and some of our favorite movies, there always seems to be like a happy ending. There always seems to be families that work things out. And I know for me, a lot of my life, I've watched shows or movies and I've had the thought of, man, I wish I could work out the problems in my family the way they do on the TV show or in the movies. Well, I think that's just a natural reaction that we all have, especially in this holiday season. So can we begin this series by admitting this simple truth, and that's that our families are fractured. Our families are fractured. It's true. Every family is fractured. Every family needs help. But here's the good news. God has a long history of working with dysfunctional families. In the Old Testament, we read about this man named Abraham. You may have heard of him. Well, Abraham is famous because he received a promise by God that through him, he would form a great nation. And so we read about his kids. We read about Isaac having 2 boys. Esau and Jacob were twins, and they couldn't have been more different. Well, because Esau was the firstborn, he had the rights to being the firstborn, and this came with a lot of blessings and privileges. Well, it turns out that one day Esau had come from hunting, and he was hungry, and he came home, and his brother Jacob was cooking up some stew. Well, here's how that scene plays out.
It's a rare condition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. And love and tradition of the grand design, some people say, is even harder to find.
Brother, give me some of that cup of noodles. I'm starving after this hunt.
Well, give me your birthright first.
My birthright? That's no good to me. I'm starving. I'm about to die.
Swear to me first.
Family drama, right? Well, later on, when it's time for Isaac to give Esau his blessing, Jacob actually steals it. And because of that, Esau has so much hatred and so much bitterness in his heart that he then tries to kill his twin brother. Family drama, right? Brokenness, right? Fractured, right? Well, guess what? It was from this family that Jesus would eventually come and save the world. God used the dysfunction of this family, and that's the good news. The good news is that God is able to work even in our dysfunction. And so it teaches us that family matters even if it's fractured. Family matters even when it's fractured. And that gives us hope. That gives us peace, knowing that we never count our family out, we never count ourselves out, because God is able to heal and do good things even in the mess of our families. And so as we go into this series, as we go into these holidays, if you feel like, hey, my family's really messed up, well, guess what? Your family is in perfect position for God to do some amazing work. But it starts with you letting God heal you first, letting God change you first. And it's through that we can all see God working in our lives. So youth, how does knowing God can redeem even the most dysfunctional families help you change your perspective about your family? I mean, believing that God can use a fractured family could be one of the greatest acts of faith. You gotta know this. Your family matters even though it's fractured. God is always working, even when it doesn't look like it. So don't count yourself out or members of your family out. Redeeming and fixing things that are broken is what God does best. He takes dysfunction and he uses it for good. What if we all went home this week and treated our families like they mattered, even though they're fractured? As you head out today, remember that God hasn't given up on your family and he hasn't given up on you either. Thanks for watching. Coffee break. They're actually twins.